G'day, Church. As we look at the second to last chapter in Tish Warren's Liturgy of the Ordinary, preparing to do our final chapter on Maundy, Thursday, before Good Friday. This chapter is called Drinking Tea, Sanctuary and Savouring. And in this chapter, Tish addresses how important it is to take time during our day to slow down, to stop and to enjoy the goodness of creation. She mentions how even God, in God's creative efforts, after it was finished, declared it good and spent time resting. Pleasure is not a bad thing. Enjoyment is not a bad thing, at least not when it's placed in the context of loving relationship and not exploitation. We can enjoy creation without exploiting it, controlling it, destroying it. We can enjoy people and relationships without needing to control, to manage, and to destroy or manipulate them. We can enjoy good food and good things when we do so in a way that takes into consideration the processes that went into making them and bringing them to us, and attempts to ensure that we're seeking ways of love even before consumerism. Instead of talking too much about this chapter, I think perhaps one way to enjoy it is to read to you something that I wrote a few weeks ago, just in one of my classes, almost kind of a journaling and a moment of taking time to sit and enjoy creation. I sit now in a park at the library where my children are inside practicing band with our homeschool group. I watch the blades of grass sway, bend, and dance in the wind that's moving in another autumn afternoon storm. A cockatoo flies past, and a green-eared honeyeater steals a sip of water from the fountain only a few meters from the table that I'm working at. The lime, fig, and eucalypt trees that surround the park are neatly surrounded with mulch. The library building itself is dressed in garden beds of flowering plants in the gorgeous blooms of purple, red, and white. This is God's kingdom, God's creation. It is here now. I take it in. I watch the grass. I survey the nature that is carefully planted around me. I become aware that this is the real world. The matrix is the concrete that's under my feet, and the metal table on which my laptop sits. Truth is the ground that holds up these structures and that breaks through in cracks that city workers will later have to repair. Our brokenness, humanity's that is, both mine and the world's, is seen in the scars of asphalt roads, the scabs of structural features we have added, the parasitic infestation of cars and smog and litter. Our attempts to harness, manipulate, control, and become gods of this matter, which our own science tells us we're unable to create or destroy, but only to transform, is evidenced in the gardens, the empty fields, and the mulch. Yet in spite of our best efforts to control and subdue the earth, to master creation and make it our slaves so that we can be its Lord and God, God's creation and presence is not lost, nor is it only a future possibility or hope or even a future certainty. It is still here. The resurrection power of God's love erodes the neat edges of the mulch piles of my life when I think I have contained this fantastic deity. The subtle presence of salvation irritatingly presses upon the concrete of my heart, like the little ordinary weeds of sunflowers and dandelions that create cracks so that they can grow through the pavement. The illusion of control is broken by the frustrating acts of nature that I can best predict through their subtle signs, but that I can never contain. The earthquakes of my helplessness, the tsunamis of resurrection power, the apocalyptic eruptions of grace offered. When I, in awestruck wonder, consider all the works God's hands have made, I see the world in humble adoration and Christ's present risenness displayed. Just as God's creation presently breaks through, rises from the ashes, and remains uncontainable by the brokenness of this world, so too I see Christ's presence and God's love breaking through the matrix of my false identity. My world does not contain God any more than all of our best inventions have made us able to contain the earth. Rather, my life, with all of its brokenness, rests on and within the truth of the dynamic love of God. These still moments, ordinary places and times, seen through an intentional attempt to catch glimpses of the extraordinary beauty of truth, are what keep me aware. When I am frantic, I stop and listen and watch. I take in not only nature, but industry, and carefully observe the subtle ways that nature and beauty still remain. God bless.